Hi everyone, this is Professor Tolan, and I needed to remake this video this semester. I know some of you have been already going through this module, and this video has been missing, so I apologize for any confusion. But there is a little bit of confusion because MLA this semester came out with a whole new version of their style. Every once in a while this happens, and usually it is a relatively minor revision. But this semester it ended up being a significant, major, life-changing revision. All right, not life-changing, but it's still pretty major. And so I had to redo this video, and I need to go through some of these changes so that you can see the difference. And I need to show you what you need to do. So here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just show you the difference between what a citation would have looked like in MLA8, probably what you did in English 1010 or a similar course, and what it's going to look like now in MLA8. So here is a citation, How the Leopard Hides Its Spots, by Alexandra Schneider et al. Of course, if you have 3 or more authors, you can use the et al designation. Et al is Latin for and everybody else. In MLA8, this is how that would have looked. Author's last name, then the article title inside of quote marks. This normally wouldn't have been red. I put it in red just to show that this is where the differences begin. This would be the journal title, +1, italicized. The journal title is italicized. Then the volume number was here, and then a dot, and then the issue number right after that. The year of publication was inside parentheses, and then a colon, and then the page numbers, and then a period. Then we would have put the database that you searched because you found this online. We would have used web to indicate that you found it online. If you had used the actual journal itself, obviously you wouldn't have put Academic Search Premier, and you just would have put the word print, and that would have been the end. But since you found it online, then you would have ended with the date of the date that you found it. 24 September 2016, and then of course you end the citation with a period. That's how it would have looked in MLA8. For some reason, I feel like MLA8 became a lot more complicated. I don't know why they did that, but they did. So here's how it looks in MLA8. You still have the last name. You still have the article title inside of quote marks, so that's great. You still have the journal title next, italicized, but instead of a period after the journal title, actually there was no period there, now you have a comma, and then instead of just putting the numbers in a nice neat row, we have all of these little abbreviations. So you have volume period 7, comma, number period 12, comma, 2012, comma, PP for the page numbers 1 through 7, period. Then you still have Academic Search Premier, but then a comma. And then this is something that APA style has been doing for a while, but now MLA is getting on board. Then you have to put the DOI, which means Digital Object Identifier. Most of the time now you can find this. This is like the VIN number of a car. Every source that is filed electronically is assigned a digital object identifier, and this is a good thing because sources move around on the internet. If you were to just put, if you were to try to put the place that you found it online, there's a pretty good chance that next year it's not going to be in that same spot. That URL is going to move. But trying to track it down by the digital object identifier will still be consistent. I'll show you where you can always find this, but this is the DOI. So that comes next, and then you put the date that you accessed it still, but you have to put accessed. So you can see that the citation's a lot longer. There's a lot more information in there, just little abbreviations. There's periods and commas. So that's what it looks like. Okay, that's the difference. Now you're probably thinking, how on earth am I supposed to remember all of that? Well, you're not. And this is where it gets tricky this semester, in fall of 2016. Now, moving forward in future semesters, all of those citation generators that we use are going to catch up. But this semester, fall of 2016, they haven't. So even if we go to the UVU library, if I type in how the leopard, let's see, let me remember what the title of that was really quick, hides its spots. And I search for that. Okay, it comes up here, and then I don't know if you even realized this, but when you find a source like this in the UVU database, and you click on it, here's all the information about that source. And let me show you really quick. The digital object identifier is down here at the bottom of this information when you need to find it. Here it is down here, DOI. You'll find it every time down there. But the UVU database does have this really neat cite option over here. If you click that, it'll show you the citation for this source in every citation style on the planet. The problem is the UVU citation machine hasn't caught up with MLA8 yet. You can see that it's still using, you can tell because it doesn't have VOL.NO. It doesn't have the DOI. It's still using MLA7. And so that's why you're going to have to know how to make these changes manually. You can grab this and copy and paste it into your works cited page like this. But then how do you go through and edit it to add all of this information? Well, that's where there are just a couple of websites right now that are updated. The best one out there is the OWL at Purdue. And you're probably familiar with this website. They have a couple of sources right now that are going to help you. One is they do have this sample paper online, and you can click this little thing right here and it'll make it bigger for you. I won't take the time right now to go through this, but you can go through this sample paper and it's got all of these little blue and green boxes that explain everything that's going on in this paper in terms of the formatting, the in-text citations, what's happening with the headings, why the indentations are like they are, everything. So take the time to go through this sample paper in detail. Read all of these notes so that you understand why these things are as they are, especially this works cited page, okay, because it explains all of the changes that are being made here that are different from MLA7. But what I really want you to pay attention to is all of these links on the left side of the page, okay? So if you know you have a journal, that's a periodical, right? Periodical means magazine, scholarly, academic journal. You're going to be working with those a lot. So if you know you have an academic journal, then click on that. Scroll down until you find an article in a scholarly journal, and then it explains to you exactly what you need to do to cite that on your works cited page. It gives you the information here, it explains what's going on, and then there are samples. Here's the basic format, and then just follow this format. Do exactly what it does, okay? So if it shows the author's last name, comma, first name, and then a period, and then the name of the article in quote marks, and then a period, and then the name of the journal in italics, and then a comma, and then VOL dot, and then the volume number, comma, issue number, period, comma, year, comma, and so on. Just do it exactly like this. Okay, now that's if you get it in print. If you find it electronically, then find works cited electronic sources. Scroll down until you find, and most of yours you're going to find like on a database, right? Because you're searching an article in an online scholarly journal, or you're going to find it from an online database in the UVU database, right? That's where you're finding yours. The online databases like Academic Search Premier or ProQuest. This one right here, an article from an online database. This is where 90% of yours are going to come from when you're using the UVU databases to get your academic sources. So become really familiar with the citation style for this particular source, and this is what you're going to copy. Okay, now you're also going to want to be familiar with just some of the basics here. In-text citations, this is going to tell you what you need to do to make those in-text citations, the basic rules, if there's a known author, if there's no known author, if you have authors by with the same last name, if there's a work by multiple authors, and so on. Okay, and then there are also the basics for your the basics for your works cited page. So become familiar with that, the basics, as well as all the specifics for the individual kinds of sources you have. So if you know you have a book, click on works cited page books. If you know you have a periodical, click on that. Electronic sources, click on that. And then sometimes you're going to have some uncommon kinds of sources, but every kind of source that you'll be using is going to be handled somewhere in this list. So make this page, make the OWL at Purdue website your friend right now, especially since most of the other online citation generators are not keeping up yet with MLA8, okay? Because as you can see, there is a significant difference right now between MLA7 and MLA8. Eventually, those citation generators like Citation Machine and the UVU database citation generator, they're going to catch up. They're going to be doing this automatically for you. But even then, they're not going to be perfect. You're going to need to be able to check them by knowing what the OWL at Purdue is telling you they need to look like. For now, you're going to have to manually reformat them to match. But this is how you get started so that you can make your works cited and your in-text citations comply with MLA8 style. Okay, that gets you started. I know you'll probably have some questions. Contact me if you do, but hopefully this gives you a head start, a kickstart in MLA8 citation style for your in-text citations and your works cited page. Thanks.